everybody, Franco Valkyria, welcome to the channel. We gotta talk about something very important that just came to my attention. So let's switch so that we can read. This is important. Let's go. Here we go. Most likely yesterday you watched Amber's sister Whitney depose, and I'm sure there must be somebody out there, behavioral expert, that can probably confirm that, or to an extent say that she was rehearsed. In my opinion, she did a good combination of like mixing together real facts with embellished facts, and it almost seemed to a point that she was totally guided by the lawyer, as if that practiced that few times before they went on the stand. To the extent even where the lawyer Elaine would just stop her because it felt like almost like, oh, okay, I know this is the chapter 2 of the story that we made together, so let's wait a second, I'm gonna ask this question, key question. But as you know, she actually because of that seemed credible. But the internet is fast. And by the beginning I saw something that told me something was wrong, especially when she would look to JD in a way that in her eyes some guilt transpired. I don't know how to explain to you, but that's what I saw. And especially when she started narrating the stuff, I saw JD like looking up with the eyes like this, looking at her like, I don't believe I'm listening to this. I don't believe I'm hearing this. Like that phase of like total disappointment and feeling betrayed. Like and that told me something. I'm like, oh wow, there must be some truth in the way that the good relationship together. And the internet, it's fast. And here we go. Bam. Letter. Jennifer Howell's letter to Whitney Heard. I read this already, but we gotta go through this. This is powerful. And basically this testimony that probably in court cannot be used because it's a most likely what it's called or defined as a hearsay. But I read this, and honestly this seems like giving clarity to so many points and bringing light to so many points that a lot of us, or most of us, kind of felt, but we didn't know the context. And to me this is actually quite revealing. So this is I think her ex-boss. And as you can see here, like we're gonna try to go like through the, well, we can also read it all. I mean, if you have patience, we can just read it all. I feel that I'm writing this on behalf of everyone who loves you and wants to help save you from, yet again, fighting a battle that it's not yours to fight. Outside of Google alerts for the charity and what is the media circus going on right now, I have been unaware of the ins and outs of what is happening between Amber and Johnny. It was brought to my attention, that you made reference to Amber kicking you out of the penthouse and went to leave on your boss floor. I don't think it took them too long to connect the dots and figure out who your boss was at the time. I have been trying to catch myself up to speed on everything, and I'm afraid that there are different storylines between what I shared and what you shared. I spoke with Adam Waldman this morning and was asked some question and answered honestly with my account of the situation. Just so you know, Adam was respectful, kind, and understood my allegiance in all of it of this to you and you alone. I have never been more upset during any of this drama than I am right now at the thought of Amber asking you to leave Gavin and Hunter to go to London and entangle you in all of this. I think Gavin and Hunter are both the husband and kid of Whitney. If you feel that you have been asked or compromised in any way to do anything that might perjure yourself, I beg you to recant and, for once in your life, think of yourself first. You have found an incredible man and have this beautiful and amazing child, and if anyone will ever put you in a position to risk that, they do not love you. Wow. I need a sip of coffee because you as well, you need just to let that sink in for a moment. This is real. Wow. It seems like this boss knows a little bit what's up and what's going on. and to me it's quite revealing. It immediately depicts a completely different picture than the one you heard last night, for me at least, when she was on the stand. I've shared the names of the other staff at the Art of Exilium who were on board with you, were there, and heard your accounts of this situation. I'm not sure if they will be subpoenaed, but their names, wow, how do you pronounce that? Subpoenaed, but their names have been submitted to the record. I hope you know that the little family created during your time at the Art of Exilium all love you very, very much. That's sweet. It crushes my soul knowing that you may hate me for the rest of your life and never speak to me again. Losing your friendship is something that I'm willing to risk if it frees you, Hunter and Gavin, from all of this and allow you to build your family and your life for you and you alone. As you can see, it's already drawing another picture as well underneath what you're reading, which is that she has sacrificed probably a lot of her life, always coming in rescue of her older sister, right? Do you see a pattern right there? I do. You have been my every prayer, every thought, and every consideration. I stated while being questioned that I do not have dates nor timeline because when you showed up to stay with me, I never thought twice about giving you a home and was happy to provide you with my guest room and have you in the safety of my place. I never wrote down when you moved in or when you left because my home was always and will always be your home. I have entered to record that I'm happy to share any text messages, emails, or anything that they need from that time to appropriately piece together specific date and accurate timeline. I have offered anything that I have to help shed light on the absolute truth and put an end to all of this to move on with this next chapter of your life. I promise you that the next chapter will be your best yet. Man, what a boss. Can I just send flowers or muffin to this lady? Please? The things that came up during the deposition with Adam are as follow. The incident on the stairs, there was one of the inciting events that led you to ask to move in with me. You told me on others on the staff that you tried to stop Amber from attacking Johnny and nearly got thrown down the stairs. So here it is. She was told, like Whitney told her boss, that the reason why she had to move out in this incident where Amber wanna attack Johnny, and basically probably Whitney actually tried to stop Amber, and in doing so she was almost thrown off the stairs. Does it clarify something there for you? At no point in time was it ever said to me that Johnny had hit Amber nor abused her in any way. Had you ever expressed concern that Johnny was abusing Amber, I would have gotten a social worker or someone to help you to remove you from your sister from that situation. I would have done anything to help you in any way. Wow. So that means that, Whitney never talked about all this abuse that apparently took place in the house because it never did. Father reminded me this morning that I told him that Whitney had moved in with me because she was terrified of her sister. Jesus, man. While you were living with me, you told me Johnny kept checking in to see how you were doing and that he called you sis and you called him brother. You said to me on multiple occasions that you did not know why he was staying in it nor why he was putting up with Amber's abuse. Oh, Jesus, good Lord, and I'm not even religious. You shared with me the damage endured by both of you as children and the injury you had suffered from Amber both psychologically and physically. You were devastated during this time and my heart broke for you. My heart still breaks for you right now. Most likely what it seems is that the both of them probably went through a lot of abuse as children, as kids. And of course you can see that had much different effect on the basis of probably on their developing personality. And maybe the other person, the older sister, developed also some, diagnosable thing on the way up, on the way to grow up, unfortunately. And again, this is another example where if this is accurate, of course, you see what a true traumatic impact can have on the life of a person and their character. In this case, probably one developed towards the more like egocentric narcissist, and another one became the more like codependent type of person, but empathic and shy and reserved, probably, who knows. When you came back from New York, I believe it was for Tribeca Film Festival, you shared with me and everyone in the office that Amber freaked out, attacked you, and threw a wine glass full of red wine at you in the elevator. Wow, sounds familiar. Again, my dates are uncertain, but I'm 100% certain of what you shared, and have asked a few others who heard it in the office to make sure my facts are accurate. Oh my god, this is so powerful. While Amber and Johnny were in Australia, you were in the office sitting in the black and white chair near the kitchen and loudly proclaimed, "Oh my god, she has done it now. She has cut off his fucking finger." I'm not sure if this is what was before or after Boo and Pistol were back in the US and coming into the office. Other staff was in the office at the time and might have better grasp of the date. In regards to the extramarital affair, I only have information you and others shared with me. It's my understanding all of that is completely irrelevant other than James giving a sworn testimony to what he did or he did not see on Amber's face the day in the elevator. I told Adam that if James were asked anything at all, that I know without a shadow of a doubt that he would speak out the truth, because I know his heart and his conscience and the spiritual journey that he's on, to be accountable for anything he has ever done that might have inadvertently hurt anyone, and to go to great lengths to make amends and do what is right truly. I encouraged him to speak to James directly. So I think here we're talking of James Franco, and it's interesting to note that she seemed to know James Franco, and also like the way he is on whatever spiritual journey. Yet he has not come forward. Probably doesn't want to get involved because, of course, if he because of maybe he would say the truth, he probably kept himself out of it, and again for good reason, because probably because he wants to say the truth and everything, then actually maybe will cause even more damage. I don't know. I just think that probably the guy knows that he went in the elevator, saw no mark on a face. Whether or not they were friends before and they were fiddling with each other, I'm not going even into the morality of knowing that you're dating or you're having sex with a woman that is married, even though her marriage is going astray. Doesn't matter, but it's also not for me. I don't care very much on that aspect, honestly. But the fact that he's not deposing, to me, also tells me that they don't want to get involved because the truth is already out there. When Elon came up in the disposition, we got also the other guy. I shared only what I know from you and Paige. February 9, 2019, when I came to see you and meet Hunter, is when this conversation with you and your mom took place. I told them I had been told that Elon had gifted Teslas, but Amber found out that they were bugged. I was told that Amber said he was controlling, abusive, and that she was in a legal battle with him over the rights to embryos that they had created together. Wow. This is also fascinating. Now she's even accusing Elon Musk to be controlling and abusive. He wanted to destroy them, and Amber tried to keep them to have a baby. This is the day that your mother told me that Johnny was either an angel or a saint compared to Elon, and she wished that Amber and Johnny would reconcile. This is interesting because I've never heard this about the embryos and the baby. So to my understanding here is that those Tesla, they give feedbacks all the time. There are cameras around, they give feedbacks all the time. So I don't know if they can be fiddled with, probably can, to basically spy in the cabin. That's also very unethical, I would say, if it's true. But the fact that he wanted to destroy the embryos, and she wanted to keep them. She did have a baby, so with a surrogate mother. So the speculation then here they're going to increase whether or not the baby it's her DNA and Elon's DNA. That's also quite interesting. This is maybe also another reason why I didn't want to get involved. Probably he's already involved too much, literally at DNA level, and that's probably also like there must have been some weird things happening also here, and that's probably the reason why also Elon Musk kind of charioted some money in her name, maybe to reconcile or something like that. Usually men of this power and money, they don't, like, trust me, they don't give money freely. Even if I have a gazillion ton of money, they have all kinds of lawyers around them. They know where the money need to go, even of their own money. They're not just so willing, like on a fly. It's like, oh yeah, here, $500,000. They know what they're doing and where their money goes. So yeah, they must. And usually those people do things for a purpose. There is always a return to their investment, so to speak. So to pay something to charity must have been used to settle something else that benefited both. So that's my assumption here, but I could be totally wrong. And she wished that Amber and Johnny, okay, we read that. And this is also when you see combines with the trip in San Francisco that she wanted to meet Johnny after sending a restraining order. And we know the audio, right? We know the audio, and we also know through the testimony of Carino that basically she never loved Elon Musk. This is the testimony of Carino, ex-manager, and he knew Carino, that she was dating him already for quite some time, and she tried to get back with Johnny. She missed him because Johnny probably was the good guy that basically was getting abused and tolerated her. So she basically ran back to the first safe harbor that she knew she could get into. Wow, this is so revealing. I need a sip of coffee. You gotta, have a sip of coffee too. The other things that were discussed were the character's reference letters that I wrote on behalf of Amber for her volunteering with the charity. The $250,000 donation that came as an anonymous donation on behalf of Amber Heard. I shared that I had believed that the contribution was from Elon, but have absolutely no recollection of you telling me that. But for some reason that was put in my head by something either you or someone else on the staff said. Your thoughts on Rocky freeloading off of Amber and then freeloading off of Johnny, and your overall thoughts on Rocky. I let them know that I did not think that there would ever be a world in which you would conspire with Rocky to do a cover-up for Amber, given your feelings about her, and after the art of Exilium had been used in press during the divorce, and I had been asked on multiple occasions to write letters regarding Amber's volunteering with the charity, and no donation came into the art of Exilium, but went to Children's Hospital Los Angeles and the ACLU. That Amber publicists told me that they were more prominent. How about that? Charities with a more significant press reach and got international press. You were aware of all of that already, but just want to share everything that was discussed. Man, this boss needs 2 baskets of muffins. I asked if they were okay to write to you in my own words because I know how easily things can get distorted or twisted. You know me and know that if subpoenaed or brought up into this or anything else, that I will always be honest. I love Amber and have compassion for her because she's your sister, and I know what you guys went through as kids. The 2 of you have literally been through hell together, and this is what compassionate people do. You even have compassion for freaking narcissists because you know that something must have happened. Luckily, Amber hasn't killed anybody yet, and hopefully she will not, which takes her 2-3 steps away from being a psychotic murderer. But still, it's hard to be empathic with somebody that is so incredibly messed up. But most of the time I feel a little bit, not even knowing them, I feel like that myself. I do not hate those people. I do realize that this comes from somewhere, and everybody deals in life in different ways, and some people get luckier, some people are less luckier with their medical condition and psychological condition. So, you know, so it's totally understandable that she has sympathy for the both of them. Asking you or even agreeing to have you leave your husband and child and involve you in all of this is selfish beyond comprehension. Yeah, I agree. You, Whitney, are worthy of love, worthy of being seen for all of your light and beauty, and worthy of not having to clean up another mess that it's not yours. During this time of social change and movements, Me Too, Time's Up, Black Lives Matters, and all of that action working to set the scale of justice back to being well, just people have to be willing to come forward with the truth. It took 2 subpoenas to get me to be forthcoming with what I have been told, but I do believe in people and feel others will have bear witness to all. Wow. What a powerful letter, man. And again, the whole picture that is drawn here, that it's depicted, is that actually Whitney is a victim of her sister. And as we saw yesterday, she's still a victim of her sister. That she has to be there standing and telling lies. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I was so incredibly suspicious of her look that was full of guilt, and the look of JD that was full of deep disappointment when he looked up at her. I've never seen JD look at somebody for that long in all the deposition, and the reason being is probably because he saw her pain, he sympathized with her pain, he tried to be there in his way, and probably opened up. They did stuff together and had fun together. And when he saw that she was up there telling lies because manipulated by the sister, I could literally see in his eyes being again broken and fully full of disappointment. I say fully twice. So, yeah, I mean, this letter in a way confirms like my intuition, my feelings that I had watching that. This is so complicated. It's sad that it is this way, you know? But then again, none of us would be involved if they would have just kept it for themselves and instead of telling lies one on top of another, solve this in a private manner, and none of this would have come to the light. But like I said in many videos, when something like this becomes so prominent and you have such a window in the life of 2 human beings which they live at this highest level, you know, you have a billionaire involved, you have a multimillionaire, an aspiring egotistical actress. This is like the stuff of like weird, like cheap novels. Let's be true. Let's be honest. Kind of like a silly thriller, but still, you know, thriller nonetheless. You can make a good script out of this. And it's a good understanding of human dynamics. I'm not an expert, you know, in any of those fields. I'm just curious, and I'm always curious about human behavior. And it's such a good, like, example of how things can be twisted, manipulated, turned around. But then the feeling of people is the one, like, somehow through the evidence that is presented, we start to see the truth. And it's just infuriating to see the perpetrator continuing with that line of lies. You know, it's just, and it's also fascinating because, again, another human behavior. Everybody's trying to save their asses at the end of the day, you know, and the truth becomes a little bit second place. Again, great letter. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment, share it. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you later. Always spread love. Always spread love. Take care of yourself. I think the coffee is kicking in.